Hi, my name is Néstor Wagner. Today I want to talk to you about the dangers of using shortcuts in your interpreting training. It is common for people to find the easiest way or the easiest program or the shortest program or the cheapest program to prepare to take an examination, an interpreting exam. Many candidates expect to be ready to take an interpreting exam taking weekend courses. And you should be aware that interpreting is something that requires its time. The same way that you have to wait until a vegetable is ready for you to eat that vegetable, or a fruit is ready for you to eat that fruit. Same way with interpreting. You can't just carry that to a point that, I want to, just 2-3 days and that is sufficient. So there are some requirements in some particular areas, for example, medical, where you have to have 40 hours of training, minimum 40 hours of training to take the national certification exam. And it is true that many candidates say, okay, 40 hours is more than enough. But the reality is that 40 hours is not sufficient, because you cannot become to think that you can become an interpreter in 40 hours is deceiving yourself. Now, you may comply with the requirement of that testing entity to allow you to take the test, but there are no guarantees that you will pass. You have to train to do the job, not to meet the requirements to be able to take the test. You have to train to pass the test, not to meet the requirements to register for the test. So it's usually what I see in our school, people that come to us and they have taken weekend courses, 20-hour training, sometimes 40 hours in the case of medical, and they don't have the skills or the knowledge to pass any interpreting exam. And they say, well, I took the 40 hours required by the national board, so I should be able to pass. And the answer is, well, that's just a minimum requirement to be able to take the test. To pass, you have to know how to do the job. And it usually takes, in the medical field, about 90 to 100 hours of training, plus another 100 hours of laboratory practices to do the job. So don't try to look for the shortcut. That's my advice. Make sure that you take this profession seriously. Someone who wants to become an interpreter and is only thinking about the shortest route, the cheapest route, the easiest way out, is not going to be a good professional interpreter. You should be thinking about what's the best program, what's the one that provides me with all the necessary practice to be able to do this job. What is the one that provides me with all the material and the vocabulary and the different interpreting techniques to do the job. And also one that will take a sufficient time for me to absorb all that information, not just 40 hours or attending a weekend course. If you do that, you're going to be deceiving yourself. That's very important, because many people do not understand and they think that taking an interpreting exam is like preparing for a real estate exam. But in a real estate exam, there are pretty much questions that are set, and once you know those questions, the answers to those questions, then you can definitely pass that exam. But in the case of interpreting, there are a lot of unknowns, because you really don't know what you're going to be asked to interpret into the opposite language. So once again, don't take the short route. Take a program that is reputable, that lasts sufficient period of time for you to absorb the material, and that provides you with the necessary online interpreting practices to develop the skills. Thank you.